There's a moment, sharp and clear, almost like a lightning strike, when a Sigma male finally understands the truth about women, and once that happens, everything changes. He stops chasing, stops overanalyzing, stops wasting energy trying to decode female behavior because he sees it for what it really is. Maybe this happens after a painful heartbreak, or perhaps after years of observing human nature from the outside, like a scientist watching lab rats run through the same maze over and over again. Whatever the trigger is, once the realization hits, there's no going back. What is this truth? It's not the superficiality of thinking that women only like bad boys. It's something deeper, something that most men never figure out, and it's the reason why Sigma males play the game differently. If you are a man who rises stronger after every fall, who transforms pain into power and refuses to follow the crowd, write in the comments, "out of the ordinary," and don't forget to join the army of men who don't ask for permission to dominate. Reason 1, women respond to how they feel around you, not to who you are. Many men believe that if they work on themselves, become smarter, stronger, more successful, and more disciplined, then women will naturally be attracted to them. It makes logical sense, right? If a man becomes the best version of himself, surely women will recognize his value. But that's not how attraction works. Women don't fall in love with who you are on paper. They fall in love with how they feel around you. This is why you'll see women who claim they want a nice, stable guy throw themselves at unpredictable, even reckless men. Emotion, not logic, drives attraction. This is where Sigma males have an advantage. Their very nature creates an emotional reaction. Their independence makes them intriguing. Their ability to be present in the moment without seeking validation makes them magnetic. A Sigma male doesn't need to play games. He simply doesn't emit the desperate energy that repels women. He doesn't ask for attention, and because of that, women naturally want to give it to him. He moves through life at his own pace, not because he's trying to be cool, but because he genuinely doesn't care about impressing anyone, and that confidence is intoxicating. Once a Sigma male realizes this, he stops putting so much weight on improving himself for women. He understands that attraction is about creating an experience, not checking off a list of achievements. Instead of trying to prove his worth, he simply lives in a way that naturally draws women in. Reason 2, women are attracted to what they can't have, as it creates value. This is one of the oldest psychological principles in existence. The harder something is to obtain, the more people desire it. And this applies to attraction in ways that most men never realize. Think about it. A man who is always available, who always responds instantly, who always makes it clear that he would do anything for a woman. What does that say? It tells her that his attention is cheap, that he has nothing else going on in his life. Sigma males don't operate that way. They don't drop everything for a woman because they have their own life, their own mission. They don't prioritize female validation because they have already found purpose elsewhere. And this is exactly what makes them irresistible. A woman will always be drawn to a man she feels she can't fully have. It's not about being emotionally distant. It's about being self-sufficient. When a Sigma male walks away without hesitation, it signals unshakable confidence. And confidence paired with scarcity makes a man unforgettable. Once a Sigma male understands this, he stops chasing, stops giving away his time so easily, and the moment he does that, the entire dynamic flips. Now it's the women who are chasing him. Reason 3. Women test men, and most fail. Women constantly test men. They don't always do it consciously, but it's hardwired into them. It's not about being manipulative. It's about survival. For thousands of years, women relied on men for protection, resources, and stability. A weak man, one who crumbles under pressure, was a liability. So nature designed a simple system. Women test men to gauge their strength. These tests come in many forms. Maybe she suddenly pulls back emotionally to see if he gets desperate. Maybe she throws out a rude comment to see if he reacts emotionally. Maybe she tries to control him to see if he stands firm. Most men fail these tests miserably. They either cave seeking approval or they overreact, getting defensive. Either way, they lose respect. But a Sigma male doesn't play along. He recognizes the test and stays unshaken. He doesn't argue. He doesn't seek validation. He just is. And that unshakable energy is what makes him stand out. Once a Sigma male understands this, relationships become effortless. He stops reacting, stops explaining, stops engaging in pointless emotional battles, and in doing so, he commands real respect. Reason 4. Women want security, but not just financial. If you ask most men what women want in a partner, they'll often say money, success, and status, and while those things might get a foot in the door, they aren't the foundation of attraction. Women seek something deeper, something most men completely overlook: emotional security. A woman might be impressed by wealth or power, but those things alone won't make her stay. Why? Because money comes and goes, power is temporary, looks fade. What a woman really needs is to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. And this is where most men fail. They think throwing money around will buy loyalty. They believe giving a woman everything she asks for will make her love them. But here's the harsh truth. Women don't respect men who break under pressure. If a man can't stand firm in his own decisions, if he can't stay emotionally grounded when things get tough, she'll instinctively lose trust in him. A Sigma male, however, provides a rare kind of security, not the kind that comes from a fat bank account, but the kind that comes from unshakable confidence and emotional stability. Think about it. Who do people turn to in a crisis? The loud, flashy guy who boasts about his success, or the calm, composed man who never loses his cool? It's always the latter, and women feel instinctively that a Sigma male doesn't need to yell to be heard. He doesn't need to prove his worth with expensive gifts or grand gestures. His presence alone commands respect because he's the kind of man who won't fold under pressure. When life throws him curveballs, he adjusts. When emotions run high, he stays calm. And when a woman tries to push his boundaries, he holds firm, not to dominate her, but because he refuses to compromise his values. This is what makes a Sigma different from the average man. He isn't swayed by emotional games. He doesn't let insecurity drive his actions. And because of that, women trust him in a way they don't trust others. Reason 5. Love should never be his mission, only a bonus. The biggest mistake most men make is making love their purpose. They believe that finding the right woman will complete them, that being in a relationship will give their life meaning, that love is the ultimate prize. But once a Sigma male understands the truth, he sees relationships for what they should be, a complement to his life, never the foundation of it. The difference between a Sigma and most other men is simple. He doesn't need love to feel whole. And that's why women are drawn to him. A man who doesn't need a relationship for validation is rare. Most men bend over backward trying to win a woman's approval. They adjust their personality, compromise their beliefs, and put their dreams on hold just to make a woman happy. And in doing so, they lose exactly what made them attractive in the first place. But a Sigma never falls into that trap. He understands that a woman can add value to his life, but she can never be the source of his happiness. His focus remains on his goals, his growth, and his mission. If a woman fits into that journey, great. If not, he walks away without hesitation, without regret. And here's the twist. This mindset makes women chase him even harder. Why? Because a man who doesn't need love to feel complete is the one they want to give it to the most. Once a Sigma male understands this, he stops playing the game the way society tells him to. He no longer seeks approval. He doesn't waste time proving his worth. Instead, he lives and lets women come to him on his terms. And once he reaches this level, everything changes. He stops chasing, stops stressing, stops wasting energy on things that don't serve him. He doesn't need to figure out women anymore. He already knows. So if you're a Sigma, embrace it, walk your path, stay true to yourself, and never let the noise of the world pull you away from your mission. Because when you do that, everything else falls into place. Right? Liberated. If you've already turned pain into power. If you're ready to stop pretending and forge your own code, then subscribe and let us know in the comments what your biggest realization about women was. We'll leave you with a list of videos on the secret guide for Sigma males on the screen.